Greetings, fellow insomniacs. It's your friend in fright, good old Chunky Larry. And as you may or may not know, I have committed to watching every single horror movie in 2024. And I got my hands, thanks to the good people at Shudder, on one that people have been talking about quite a bit this year. And I'm, of course, talking about Late Night with the Devil. In the late 70s, a talk show host aspiring to ascend past Johnny Carson makes a deal that he soon regrets. Late Night with the Devil is directed by Cameron and Colin Carnes, the Carnes brothers. Now, this is referred to as a found footage horror film, so it does have some of the tropes of what a found footage film is, and it's kind of a formulaic layout where they will have, sequence of the show, and then they'll cut to commercial, and then all of a sudden it becomes an Oliver Stone fucking movie. I think that what they do with that element works for the film, but I also can see why certain people did not enjoy this film. When this film was on its way out and it was getting ready to come out in the theaters, screeners went out, and there are a lot of my contemporaries who said lots of nice things about the film. And then it hit Shudder, and everybody else got it. There's this disproportionate reaction in terms of the people that saw it before it hit Shudder and the people that saw it after it hit Shudder. Now, my interpretation of that is that it wasn't a situation of people got a screener and they said, I gotta say nice things about this movie because I got a screener for it and I want to get more screeners. And I think that the cynical take on it would be that that's what it was. I personally feel that the audience that got to see it, before it came out in theaters or while it was in theaters, was the target audience. And so, of course, that target audience responds well to it. And then everybody else is going to have an opinion one way or the other because they've heard so many people praise this fucking movie and hype it up and talk about how fucking great it was. Then when it's not what their expectation of what great is, it's met with a pushback. So I think that this is one of those films that's a taste thing. I don't think that it's necessarily bad or good. I think that it's much more open for interpretation than a lot of other films of its ilk. And that makes it stand out, but it also makes it a target for unjust and unnecessary critique.
Eat your ass.
This is a independently funded, small budgeted film. What they were able to accomplish with that budget, I think, is exceptional. Was it my favorite movie of the year? Not at all. It's a unique and completely different horror film than the horror films that we've been getting, and I don't want to see it become a trend. It's fantastic for what it is, but I don't want to see more of it. Coming in with a Reaper for this one, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought that it was a creative approach to something. It's done through a series of reveals. Part of the balancing act with that is that when they're calculated, they're also obvious. I personally thought that this was a really fun movie. I thought that it was different than everything else that I've been watching thus far. Same way that stop motion was different than everything that I had seen so far this year. I prefer stop motion over this, but again, that's just taste. But ultimately, it's not the blow-away film that everybody's making it out to be, but that is not to say that it's a bad film. That's going to do it for me, you guys. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me, give me a like, all that fun stuff. Give me your opinions on Late Night with the Devil in the comments section. And when we're done with this, we'll watch another movie, and then you'll be able to hear my opinions on that. But until then, listen. someone you trust.